Mr. Speaker.
The Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Speaker, I want to thank those members from the Labor Party and the Green and the Maori parties who backed this bill with their senior members and former ministers who understand the common sense behind this bill. The National Party led off with laymen and laywomen backbenchers. National rubbish-free doctors' visits for primary school children. Of course, Mr O'Connor forgot to say that it was New Zealand First's idea and he claimed it was their policy. Then he claimed, having rubbished in the past the SuperGold card, tonight he claimed it was National's policy, according to Mr O'Connor, MP for Tamaki. Now, it must be personally debilitating and gutting to be forced to stand up in this House and make those claims when they know that they are demonstrably and palpably just false. Mr Reti, the third National Speaker, the person who has got a qualification as a medical doctor, the MP for Whangarei, got up and said that the Conservative Party in the UK and Prime Minister David Cameron don't know what they're talking about. That's what he said, in essence. And then he said that Te Hapua and Te Kau, the two most northern settlements in my electorate, Northland, wouldn't miss out. How? He couldn't say. He then posed as an Antipodean Blackstone or an expert in statute draft law. And he questioned the bill's drafting. Why? He couldn't say. And then he said that the bill left out Maori spiritual health. He wants a free visit to the tohunga. He is so out of date, he wants a free visit to the tohunga. Now, National give 42 million per year to Sky City and yet say we can't afford this bill. They give 30 million and massive power discounts to Rio Tinto and yet say that we can't afford this bill. They give 800 million to the South Canterbury Finance bailout and then say we can't afford this bill. Mr Retti's question was, and how electrifying it was, how do you define a doctor's visit? He himself couldn't say. But the most senior minister in the National Party regarded this debate from his colleagues as a substitute for Mogadon and spent most of the time asleep. Chris Finlayson. And I hope it was a pleasant sleep at the time. Now, where was the Minister for Senior Citizens? Where was the Minister for Senior Citizens? Well, that minister couldn't be seen for dust and small pebbles. No. They put up their political cannon fodder like lambs to the slaughter. Mr Speaker, if that's the best that the national... not sheep to the Arabian slaughter, but lambs to the political slaughter. Mr O'Connor, that was a disgraceful performance. The reality is that Conservative parties around the world know that this works. And if you're going to make a complaint without having any substitute wording, that won't wash anymore. We are required here to be professional in what we do. This legislation has precedent. Precedent in the foundation source of the National Party in this country. And how sad it is. The British Conservative Party might remember Disraeli and people like that, but this new modern brand of National Party has no philosophical basis at all. That's why they opposed the people that we know used to be so loyal to them. Here comes the warning. This is a fatal night for those backbench members, and there'll come a time soon when they'll realise that they should have stood up for themselves and their constituents, not for the hopeless political organisers at the top of the 9th floor of the Beehive.
Members, the question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. No. The noes have it. A party vote is called for. The clerk will conduct a party vote.
New Zealand National, 59 votes opposed. New Zealand Labour,
32 votes in favour.
Green Party.
14 votes in favour.
New Zealand First.
12 votes in favour.
Maori Party.
2 votes in favour.
Ag New Zealand.
1 vote opposed.
United Future.
1 vote opposed.
Don't have to? Wait. No, call it.
Members, the ayes are 60, the noes are 61. The motion is not agreed to. Call on members, order of the day,
Point of
number
order,
4.
Speaker.
Point of order,
Mr.
the
Speaker,
Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Because I thought I had misheard what the National Party whip has given for another party, and we didn't go for a personal vote. But this is so close, I believe we should have a personal vote. And I'm moving that.
No, there is no reason to hold a personal vote. The member must, in suggesting calling for a personal vote, have good reason to believe that members are absent, and so the vote is invalid. We
Mr.
call
Speaker,
on members.
Point of order. I realise what you've just said, but Mr. Speaker, when it's that close, when it's that close. Now, with respect, there have been times in the past where people have given the vote. It goes back a long time and not been here. And I've got an example where one night 3 people didn't make it here in this House, but they were counted and then was found out they weren't here. I think, so that close on an issue so critical, we should have a personal vote. And that's what I seek to move.
No, I don't require any assistance with respect of this matter. I've given my ruling on it, and nothing the Right Honourable Member has said has caused me to change my mind from that call.
Point of order.
Well, I hope the member's not going to challenge on the basis, some frivolous basis, but I will hear his point of order.
No, Mr. Speaker, and I do hope that you do not rule this as frivolous. It's not intended to be at all. But in your deliberation, you said where the party believes that a member is absent. The Standing Order 144 clearly states a personal vote may be held following a party vote, which has been called for, if a member requests one, which the member has, and the Speaker considers that the decision on a party vote is so close that a personal vote may make a material difference to the result. It makes no mention of us having to believe that someone's not present in the House or may not be here. The vote could not be closer. It is 60-61, and we are exercising our right under 144 in order and asking for
Thank you. The member's made his point.
Speaking to that point of order.
Point of order. The Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
Mr. Speaker, in support of your decision, I want to draw the House's attention to McGee, Parliamentary Practice in New Zealand, page 208, which goes directly to this. The Speaker has emphasised that closeness on a party vote result cannot by itself be enough to justify holding a personal vote. Depending on party standings in the House, every party vote might be close. It goes on to describe a number of scenarios where, perhaps due to confusion, there may be a reason. That closeness is definitely not one of them.
No, I'm not going to take any further comments or further points of order in respect of this matter. I know the matter has been controversial. I know it's been well canvassed, and I recognise that in a...
Mr. Speaker, point of order. Point of order, Speaker.
No, I'm not accepting a point of order.
This is a new point. This is a new point of order.
The member will be seated. I was still speaking when he stood and sought a point of order. He should sit down now.
This is a new point of order.
No, the member will be seated. The member will recall that he started speaking, making this point of order, while I was still speaking. I haven't finished yet. He should stay in his seat.
Point of order.
Members...
Point of order.
The Speaker's word is paramount. The National Party whip has cast the vote. There's no reason why there should be any doubt whatsoever. And if the member wants to restate his point of order that it's 60-61, it couldn't be closer, he may well make his point. But in this Parliament, the member should be seated while I'm speaking. I've shown the member, as the elder in this House, due regard. So I would expect him to show the person seated in the chair due regard. The member will recall that in this House, especially under MMP, votes have often been close, and I'm not going to call a personal vote on the basis of closeness. If the member has a new point of order, he may well put it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. If you are going to take the advice of the National Minister by reciting McGee, the point of order is that the point of order is, first of all, you'll hear this point of order in silence, but the real issue is this. The standing order is clear. If it was not, you'd go to McGee, but he is not an authority where the standing order is so precise as my colleague Ron Marks said. Now that any lawyer will tell you is a fact. So therefore, to have heard that argument and give it credence simply is not the way this House should be conducting its affairs.
Exactly right, and I'll be the judge of how the House is going to be conducting its affairs, and the fact that the Honourable Michael Woodhouse happened to agree with the ruling I'd already made didn't sway my mind one way or another. We call on members' order of the day number 4.
Local government organ